What's good, Geekdom? It is me, the artist at MC. I had to get into a little bit of geek speak. So the question was posed today that's been circling around my head on how to save the MCU. But nobody really knew how they were going to save the MCU after the failure of the Marvels. And I was thinking when I heard that question, I said it's pretty easy, relatively, being that I don't have to do the shit. So that makes it pretty easy. What's up, Malika? What up, BMT? Now, I hear what you're saying, BMT. They have to pay a penance. They do have to pay a penance. But the fan base trying to make them pay a penance and suffer is only going to hurt the fan base. It's only going to hurt the fan base. You know why? Because then you don't have those properties to look to. You don't. Look at it like the only comic shop in your area closing down. You are now at a loss. You're now at a loss. The unintended consequences of your actions actually cost you more than it costs anybody else. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the collapse of Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney and Pixar all together. What does that leave you? I mean, for real, what does it leave you? And what is it? What, Sony? DC? Sony wasn't making a good comic book movie until Marvel got involved with them. They weren't. DC? Well, maybe with Marvel's leftover, their runaway child, James Gunn, maybe, but you don't know. I may like James Gunn, but I didn't like Guardians 2. He didn't. There's some other stuff that he did that I liked, but I didn't like that one because he got his own issues he tried to work out on film. Now, BFT saying, "What up? I'm listening." They didn't get greedy. They were doing what big companies do. They needed those markets. They needed those markets because for the longest time, Disney was the princess brand, right? What up, Nigeria? For the longest time, Disney was the princess brand. That was their stock and trade. That's what they specialized in. That's what you knew Disney for. But them buying Star Wars and Marvel to bring in that young boy audience was a good move. It was just executed fucking terrible. Terrible. Because as soon as they got it, they tried to turn them into princesses. And that's like putting your son in a dress to show all your friends and say, see, isn't this cute? I'm not progressive. No. So I have my ideas on how they can fix Star Wars, but I'm going to focus on the MCU right now. And I'm going to focus on the MCU right now just as the landscape is right now. Right? Just as it is right now. They can keep the same slate. They can keep all that past stuff as is. Right? Okay, Marvel's box office wise failed, monetarily failed. Okay. Ant-Man and the Wasp, you can call it whatever you want to call it, failure, whatever. Some political stuff in it that you can't approve of, what the fuck ever. It's failing. Jonathan Majors having his legal issues. He may be in, he may be out. They may recast, they may not. They're not talking. All of that shit. Let's put it all in the pot together. We gonna make this gumbo, okay? Just starting there with Jonathan Majors, since Disney is already kind of, or the MCU is kind of already fucked up now as it is with the Marvels. Keep Jonathan Majors as Kang. Don't recast. Do the same shit you talking for Black Panther. Don't recast. Ride it out. Right? Because anybody watching this case can see this man ain't really guilty of what he was accused of at all. So ride it out. You're not talking about recasting Namor Tenochtitlan with his allegations, which got some teeth, and just went away. They just buried that. You didn't even hear anything about it. Everybody focused on getting the big black dude. C-stand to make more money. Ride it out. Bet money you would get a good performance. Right? So you ride it out with him, and you still go forward with Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Okay? Now, if you want to kill off Kang or get him out of the MCU, you do it at Secret Wars. I mean, you do it at Kang Dynasty. That's when you do it. Because the takedown of this character in Kang Dynasty can lead you into Secret Wars, which leads into the rebirth of the MCU. Okay? That's your jumping off point. That's your multiverse mashup. You can fix all of this. Now, the Marvels, even though I thought they got some decent growth, I'm not saying it was awesome, I just said it was decent. Decent growth out of Carol Danvers in that last movie. Next time you see Carol Danvers, you also see a Rogue and we go on comatose. That gets Captain Marvel off the board. Gets her off the board completely. It makes way for characters like the Century or someone else on that level that's strong. Stronger than her. You get rid of your problems behind the scenes with Brie Larson and all the rest of that stuff. You pay her, you do whatever you need to do, but you're 86. And by the time you let that character lie for about 5 to 10 years, you can pull it back out with a new actress and nobody will care. No one will care at all. But you got 5 years of running with Rogue with those powers, which people want to see. Now, you introduce your X-Men, and you do it post haste. One X character, one mutant character in every movie that is coming out next. One character in every movie that's coming out next. Now, if you're really worried about capturing the youth or something, I'm kind of split on this one. You make the X-Men all young. You go X-Men Evolution style, when they are young and they are in school, and go from there. Now, it will end up having a fucking teeny bopper vibe, which is why I say I'm 50-50 on it. Because me personally, I want grown up X-Men. Because if I have grown X-Men, I can get more adult stories right off the bat. And for someone my age, for a fan my age, you need to catch us. I need to catch us. We almost out the door. So you might want to give us some of that red meat we want. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. I don't know who you cast for Sabretooth. I don't give a shit. You know, Michael Fassbender, Magneto. I need some of that in the MCU. But you got to get those X-Men rolling because it's been waiting too long on putting those characters out there. As Little Thought has shown in the last couple of movies that they've done, you can just throw the character in there and figure out how they fit later on. Seems like that's what you guys are doing anyway. You get the X-Men rolling, one in every movie that comes up, one mutant in every movie that's coming up next, leading up to the Kang Dynasty. Fantastic Four. Hold off on that movie. That's my thinking. Hold off on that movie. I know you really want to rush to put the first family of Marvel out there, but look, the culture right now does not give a shit about families. They do not care about families. Every movie family or fathers in the last 3-4 years has done doo-doo. Critics shit on those ridiculously. And if you're trying to make Fantastic Four modern, what is it going to be? Friends? Why all these people still hanging together and living together and shit? Look, just push it back. I don't give a shit. I don't care because I'm not that overly jazzed about seeing a Fantastic Four anyway. Push it back, or fix that last Fan Four stick and use that. Because I don't think you're going to find anybody satisfied with what you do with the Fantastic Four. Not right now. If that movie came out today, it would probably do what the Marvels did. Probably. Second week, it definitely would have a drop off. First week, everybody's going to show up because it's the Fantastic Four. They want to see what you did. Second week, after they saw what you did, they're going to shit on it. Because I don't know about you, but having seen Godzilla -1, that is the new benchmark now for telling a story with special effects, but you have characters in it that you actually give a damn about. That's the new benchmark. So if you're introducing a Fantastic Four movie, they're supposed to be like a family. And I can't get any connection to them at all, then why am I watching a movie? See somebody say flame on, it's clobbering time, I can do that myself. Appreciate you, BMT, for supporting the stream. I will read that comment since she donated. He said, I can pull a Teen Titans CV with the X-Men, animated Go Young Justice, but Wilson type combat of X-Men. Well, the X-Men movie is going to be live action, not animated. They already are trying to bring. They're already bringing back the X-Men in an animated form, X-Men '92. Right. So those X-Men from the cartoon are already coming back. But in live action, they want to hit that market again. And to hit that market again, to me, the team I would want to see, X-Men wise, I don't even want to see Scott. I don't want to see Jean. I don't. I want to see the gold team led by Storm. You know, the second string, Giant Size, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Sunfire. You know, the multinational team, Wolverine. Yeah, I want to see them. I don't need to go back to the original team of the X-Men again. I don't. Give me that second squad. Let me see the second squad. Because those are the characters I want flushed out. And it may seem like suicide for the movie, but don't focus on Wolverine. How about that? Let Wolverine act like Godzilla did. He here sometimes, and sometimes he not. They got other stuff going on. And he doesn't remember his name is Logan yet. Yeah, Storm's team. I want Storm's team. Because Storm is the only character that's showed up in all those movies and she ain't been fleshed out at all. At all. You want to start the movie? Start the movie with Storm and Cairo meeting Professor Xavier. If you really want to piss people off, look at the team through Storm's eyes. It's a black woman, right? Egyptian black woman at that. And go from there. Piss off a whole lot of people because it's female centered, but it's not female centered on one of the white chicks. I don't give a shit. Piss them off. Look, you don't have a right to not be upset. And take it from there. Don't start from the beginning. Start somewhere in their timeline and just start going forward. Just saying. Same thing with the Fantastic Four. They don't need an origin story of how they got their powers. It was three other movies that did that. You need to start somewhere else. Now, Shang-Chi, who I was thinking about, you need to find out in rapid succession or rapid order that those rings came from another dimension and they are attached to Kang, some kind of way. Not quantum bands. Okay. Now, if you want to make them that they came from the Jin universe or whatever, that's your business. But let's just get that on the stick and moving. That the signal it's sending out is a signal to one of these Kangs from these other universes. That will lead you into your Kang dynasty. If you want to throw a mutant in there, throw Sunfire in there. You don't need an origin on him. He just needs to show up. Now, that next piece of shit they got coming up. I don't remember what other movie they got coming up right now. Excuse me. And mind you, I'm doing all of this on the fly as I think. it out and script it out. It's just on the fly. Deadpool has some multiverse shit shenanigans happening. Obviously, got more mutants available. Why don't you introduce Rogue there? How about it? Since you're already getting Wolverine there, you can get some of these other X people showing up there as well. But Deadpool still has to tell its own fucking story. You can't use it as the whole enchilada for stuffing all your crap in there that you don't want to actually spend any time to do work on. Because make no mistake about it, all this time they taken futzing around with the X-Men is not because they thinking up a really good story. I don't believe that at all. I think they're scared and don't have a clue what they want to do with the X-Men because the only people spoke about the X-Men was Victoria Alonso, and her good goofy butt was all about dropping the men off of it because there's a lot more women, and that it was sexist. No, it's not. Why don't you go back to the creator and ask him if it was sexist? He's done plenty of interviews on why he named the X-Men the X-Men. Had nothing to do with sex. That's your warped view of the world. Appreciate you, BMT. We need the heroes dealing with the occultism. So, the occultism. Doctor Strange 3, if they even had that in the plans, but the way they left the last movie, they should do a third one. That's where you throw in a Midnight Sun or someone. That's where you throw that in. Now, I would accept, even though they're going to be dealing with Clea and Dormammu, these universes, you can throw in some other X-Men in there, right? Because it has to do with dimensional travel, why not throw Nightcrawler in that one? Why? Because Nightcrawler's daddy is a fucking demon from another dimension. So it gives you the perfect interest to have Nightcrawler pop in there. Why not? Or at least have Azazel show up. Either way. What up, Noostel? And Blood Boiling, peace to you. Shout out to Aquateki for supporting the stream. Aquateki said, yeah, that's fucking hell. So, hold on 1 second. Light in my eyes, and I'm trying to look down and see this. Yes, no more origin stories. They've been done to death. Yeah, none of these characters, that they're getting back, that they've already had their own series of movies, do you need to do an origin story for? Skip it. Just fucking skip it. Nobody is gonna get lost, okay? Nobody is gonna get lost. Stop worrying about that shit. It's been too soon since the last movies for you to think that somebody's going to walk into the theater and not know shit about these characters. And even if they walked in and didn't know anything about the characters, you fucking bad. Get on with the story. Let them do their makeup work. Because I don't want to sit through another origin. Not of a character I've already seen 7 other times. No, I don't need another origin. If it's a brand new character that hasn't been on screen before, okay, yeah, give me a little bit of that origin. Just a little bit. But I don't need the whole thing. But any one of these characters that already have been in a movie and had a movie, oh, hell no. I don't need an origin. Thank you. I'll pass. Yeah, save your time, save your money and your film, even though it's digital, and just get on with the story. How about that? And you're gonna need another Black Panther movie, and the reason you need another Black Panther movie, not just because Wakanda was shit for Black Panther fans, but you need to recast T'Challa and you need to introduce Doctor Doom. That's where I want to see Doctor Doom show up before he shows up in a Fantastic Four. And I'm saying that because I don't want an origin of the Fantastic Four movie. That's why. If we're getting away from the origins, then I don't need to have him show up in the Fantastic Four first. He can show up somewhere else first. Make it a reveal, make it a surprise for all the uninitiated moviegoers that never knew that Victor Von Doom was Doctor Doom and he knew Reed Richards. Let that come out in the Fantastic Four movie like a surprise, like a goddamn Easter egg. And cast Luke Evans. I'm serious about that now. But in the meantime, I need a T'Challa in Wakanda fighting Doctor Doom for Black Panther 3. Just so we can get Shuri, off the serum, off the synthetic juice, get an actual male Black Panther in there again, and introduce a villain people would want to see. And you can wrap the story up real easily by saying, hey, since leadership changed and Shuri was in charge and she was kind of stepping back and not trying to be a whole hog leader, this other king over there of Latveria noticed the weakness in the city, and he decided to come in and try to take their vibranium. And you can introduce a Black Panther from another dimension or something. I don't give a shit. And have it be a completely different actor. Shit, you could have it be Jonathan Majors. I wouldn't give a shit. I don't care. That would introduce Doctor Doom. It would introduce and give the audience an understanding of why he's such a threat. You could pump up his badassness right off the bat and have people who don't know, the uninitiated, be like, who the fuck is this dude? Why is he so tough? He got a suit like Iron Man. Boy, you see how he just blasted that fool? You could play up all of that. And then in the Fantastic Four movie, have his ass show up one time, way later. But you introduce him in a Black Panther movie, and then you roll into a Secret Wars or into Kang Dynasty, and he's the one who kills Kang or takes out Kang. And that's why you get your Secret War. Because Doom slid in there and got the power. And that gets you to your Secret War. Because make no mistake about it, I don't want to see the goddamn Beyonder. I don't give a shit about the Beyonder. I don't. Beyonder ranks lower on my list than Adam Warlock. And I actually kind of liked Adam Warlock. I didn't like what they did with his ass, but I kind of liked him. I'm not interested in seeing the Beyonder. I am interested in seeing the Beyonder get killed and Doctor Doom taking their power. That's fine with me. That's completely fine with me. Because just like D Remedy is saying, look, we got all these incursions happening. That's what needs to happen. Have the incursions caused by the stuff going on in Loki and the Kang screwing around, causing the incursions. Because incursions lead you into Secret Wars of all those universes coming together in one go. So after Secret Wars, if you still wanted to do a Fantastic Four movie first, when that movie finishes up, that's when you have Reed helping defeat Doctor Doom. Well, I told you, Doctor Doom is numeral deuce in the MCU on everything, in anything. You right there. So to me, it would be more interesting that way because you don't have a lot of time to be fucking around with a lot of origin stories. You don't have a lot of time to be screwing around with these low tier, uninteresting ass characters like Echo. You don't have any time for that. You're wasting money and you're wasting time and you're wasting the audience's patience on that shit. I mean, seriously. You are wasting their goodwill throwing these goofy ass shows out there like that. Now, with the low key announcement of the Young Avengers coming at the end of the Marvels, cool. I don't know who wasn't keeping track of this shit for the last so many shows that in every show there was one of these characters who is a Young Avenger. Fine. You want to throw a young Kang in there? Fine. Just get on with it already. I understand some of these things take time, but if you were planning this stuff out clearly, it wouldn't be taking much time at all. Because the stuff you claim you are taking your time on is doing nothing. It's doing garbage numbers and a lot of money wasted. So the next thing would be Blade. I don't think anyone is really up for another Eternals movie, but Blade is miscast in that movie. If you get an Eternals 2, I don't want to see Blade in it. I do not want to see Blade in it whatsoever. I'm not interested in Blade being in an Eternals movie. I don't care who carrying a sword. Blade should show up in a Doctor Strange movie or some other character that you introduce. If you really want to go hard with Agatha Harkness, throw him in Agatha Harkness, but he don't need to show up in no damn Eternals movie. Now it might be interesting to see in the Eternals too, to see what else happens when they go to that other planet with other Eternals, since they introduced the idea that there are other Eternals on other planets. Yeah, that could be interesting. You could throw some stuff in there to see Thanos' daddy and stuff like that, since you already got Thanos' brother, Star Fox, right there. That could be some interesting stuff, but it's not going to be tied to anything. It's not going to be tied to shit. They still got a mess to clean up in the Indian Ocean, far as I remember. You know, a whole fucking piece of a celestial hanging out of it. I'm pretty sure that's fucking with the gravity on the Earth in some kind of way. They got some shit they need to be cleaning up. And Oda Malaka say Doom is patient, opportunistic, and formidable supervillain. If well written and introduced, he could be a good part of the glue that holds the franchise together. Exactly, Malika. Because Doom has to be your pivot. Doom is your pivot character. You have to pivot off of Kang, and not because of the stuff that's going on with Jonathan Majors, just because you need to pivot off of Kang. Look, it's not just Marvel's fault, but Marvel, DC, Invincible is doing it right now. Some other franchises doing it. Y'all run out of this multiverse shit. Y'all running this shit into the ground. It's not even interesting anymore. And I'm saying that for me, a sci-fi head. It is not even interesting anymore. What up, Rainfire and Ray Hama? Y'all need to. I would think the MCU needs to pivot off of that really quickly for that reason and that reason alone. You need to close the door on the multiverse stuff, like quick, and get yourself back to telling some stories. What up, No One? Shout out to the Package Man. Shout out to the JO West. Pivot off of that and hand the ball off to Doctor Doom, because that would give you a powerful, reoccurring villain that you can use multiple times. You throw Doctor Doom in there, yes, you can have him going against the Fantastic Four. You can have him introducing the Fantastic Four. You put him in there, you can have him actually going against Doctor Strange and get into those stories where he went and fought Mephisto and stuff like that, getting you into the rest of the whole supernatural realm, where you can introduce Night Stalkers and Blade and all the rest of these Ghost Rider and all these other characters. He's doing the science. You want to have some more Armor Wars? Have Doctor Doom in there, fighting against your next incarnation of Tony Stark or whatever the hell else you want to do. What's up, Charles Smith? But you need to make that pivot. The multiverse shit, you guys aren't doing it well because you keep mixing up multiverses with time travel, and it's driving me fucking nutty because you keep getting it wrong. That's not how that shit works. So they need to pivot off of it quick because they ain't got themselves into some territory these motherfuckers only know from watching Rick and Morty how this shit works. And that's a problem. To me. I don't watch Rick and Morty. I watched a lot of other stuff that dealt with time travel, space travel, and multiple universes. Y'all mixing this shit up, and this is not a goddamn cartoon. Okay? This goofy shit don't play in live action. So they need to switch it up and fix up the mix up. Close the door on it. Because you're doing it badly. Now, once you make that pivot off to Doctor Doom, you could have him touching all those other characters. You could have him being a villain to all those other characters individually. He can have beef with Black Panther. He can have beef with Doctor Strange. He can have beef with Tony Stark. He can have beef with the Fantastic Four. If you really fucking felt like it, you could just throw him in the X-Men just for a fuck of it. He can touch everybody and be a problem for everybody. And then move the fuck on. Get to Secret Wars. Get your characters fed into this universe through every show up until Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. And Secret Wars, you jumpstart, you restart, board wipe, and start over. And now all those characters are there. And at the end of Secret Wars, this is your new MCU universe. This is how it is. All these characters exist in the same place. But you have to do it quickly at this point because you're wasting time. And actually doing not the traditional, well, we got the X-Men, so we need Cyclops and Jean. No, we don't. Well, we got the Fantastic Four. We got to go through the origin, and we need to have Sue and Reed. No, we don't. No, we don't. To anybody listening at Marvel, just think for a second. Not even a second. Think for 60 seconds. A minute. Not a Hollywood minute. A real, legitimate minute. Think for a minute that the audience that you're trying to make a movie for is actually intelligent and read all of your comics. Just think that for a minute. And if you believe the audience is intelligent and not a bunch of kids waiting to buy some goddamn toys, then make a story that intelligent people would like and kids will want to grow up to understand. Do that. That would be helpful. And like Ilongo Savage is mentioning, that was getting me to my next part. Behind the scenes, behind the actually putting out the shows and stuff, oh yeah, people need to start getting fired. Legitimate people need to start getting fired. And he named one right off the bat. And pay for it, but I'm gonna highlight it. Nate Moore, yeah, he might need to go. And that's a brother. But look, Negro. Um, you call it more fouls than hits, okay? That's a problem. Now, I left out Captain America, New World Order, and the Thunderbolts because honestly, I think those shows, those movies will be interesting, but how they feed into the bigger picture, since everybody is writing them off because nobody is super powerful in the shit. Um, Sam Wilson is going to be going to be Captain America for at least an episode or so. I just see BGS just went live, so I'm probably going to lose y'all. Um, what up, Ghostman Kang? Excuse me. Sam Wilson, Captain America, was always problematic to me for one reason and one reason only. You took a character who had his own legit identity. You made him Captain America, and you didn't give him any super soldier serum. That's his one weakness. Yes, it's good that he's out there, out in front, and all the rest of that shit. Yeah, cool. We like Sam Wilson. But we like Sam Wilson Falcon. It wasn't feeling that Sam Wilson Captain America shit. Every time you've done that, where you take one of Captain America's buddies and give them the shield for a little while, it never really works too long because most of those characters have their own identities. Like Bucky being Captain America, he's Winter Soldier, and people like the Winter Soldier. It only works for a little while. U.S. Agent is U.S. Agent. Nomad kind of worked for a little while, but if you did that, nobody would know who the hell Nomad was, so it wouldn't be an issue. But Falcon, everybody knows who Falcon is. It wasn't like a promotion in a sense for him. He was a hero in his own right. Because one of the things that's tied to Captain America that makes that mantle kind of screwed up is you need to have some kind of powers. You just do. Because that is the standard set by Captain America. He is peak human, which is basically superhuman. If the next person in line is not somewhere near superhuman, why the hell is he here? You just got us a bullet magnet. So that movie with him in it, I'm hoping. I shouldn't even say I'm hoping. I'm not sure what that is going to be. If he just trying to fight the man or stick it to the man or some shit like that, that movie is going to do lower numbers than the Marvels. It will. And make no mistake about it, every geek on YouTube will be heralding his death early and waiting to dance around the fire. Now, the Thunderbolts could be very interesting to me, especially if I'm going to see a Red Hulk and a Sentry. I was already down for seeing the rest of the characters. I like Yelena Belova. I like the Winter Soldier. I don't mind Red Guardian too much. But I definitely want to see a Red Hulk and throwing a Sentry in there. I don't know why, but whatever. I want to see Samuel Stern show up in that because I need to see the leader. That gets into some other stuff. Cool. I'm fine with that. Will it be a major thing for the rest of the universe? Absolutely not. But you can slide some characters in there if you're clever. You can slide a mutant or maybe somebody on Fantastic Four. You can slide somebody in there that gets into the larger story that you're supposed to be working towards, which is the Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars thing. So for me, that's just some spitballing ideas on how you can actually fix this MCU shit because it needs to be fixed. And I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's actually hard to do. I've been reading comics a long time. The best thing for a failing run or a failing book is a new artist and a new writer team. What an idea. And a new artist and writer team comes on, they can turn the whole book around. Image Comics was based off people who did just that for Marvel and for DC. Came on board and turned comics around that wasn't selling for shit. They need to take that approach with this movie shit quickly. Now the problem is do they have anybody left like that on the bench or in the offices? Or did they drive out all those people trying to be extra woke and bring in all these young ass, no experience in life having ass motherfuckers to write stories about characters who've had experiences in life and shit? But all they know how to focus on is somebody's identity, their genitals, and I'm mad at somebody else. My parents never hugged me. Mental issues. That's about it. So that's the real question. But some of those other people behind the scenes might need to go. From what I'm hearing nowadays, shit, maybe Kevin Feige need to go. Maybe he was the problem. And it wasn't just Victoria, it was his ass too. Could be. I don't know. I don't think Ike is the answer. I don't think Ike is the answer. It would be the answer to keep all these, 200 million, $300 million blown on one, lackluster ass movie from happening. Yeah, that would be it. That would solve that problem real quick. Because Ike like to make money. So do I. And I hear about somebody blowing some millions of dollars and stuff like that. My heart just hurt. Because like, oh shit. I wouldn't feel comfortable with myself blowing that kind of money on something. I'd want to hurt myself. Yeah, Malika, you can't. But they tried it. because nobody really had, especially in comics, nobody really had any hate for Falcon. Nobody had any hate for Falcon. But turn him into Captain America was kind of stupid because he was an established hero already himself. It wasn't a promotion. And what did his book turn into? Everybody being racist against him being Captain America. I'm like, oh fucking hell, dude. Until what? Had to bring Steve back. That's Marvel's Achilles heel. No mantle system. Uh, somebody talking about the Transformers, which ain't got shit to do with the MCU. It doesn't make dollars. It don't make sense. No, Aquateki, it doesn't. It doesn't. Look at that. I got all the arts in one place. Holy shit, boy. It's an art beat reunion in this bitch. Love, or I should say, Geek is a house of love. And I've learned that it don't take much to break a house. Milongo said, can they possibly trade Feige for Russo brothers? Look, fuck no. Let the Russo brothers direct a movie, because if you watch the last two movies that they did, The Gray Man was all right action wise. Other than that, it was like you could have watched it or you could have not watched it. They're pretty good as directors. I wouldn't want to put them in charge of shit, though. No. If you want to put somebody in charge of Marvel, give it to Jon Favreau. Yeah, I fucking said it. Give it to Jon Favreau. Why do I say that? Because Jon Favreau got your asses started. And they treating him like shit over there at Star Wars. All his good work going for fucking naught, for fucking with that goofy ass bitch and that simp ass fucking dude over there. Broke back cowboy hat. That fucking pseudo penis sucker. No. Give it to Jon Favreau. Because by rights, they should have put his ass in charge of Lucasfilms. But since they didn't do that shit, fuck them. Let his ass go on back over to Marvel and be in charge of that shit. And let him do whatever the fuck he want to do. Because I tell you this, if they wanted to go off book, I would watch a new Iron Man movie directed by Jon Favreau with Tony Stark's daughter wearing fucking armor. I would watch that. You know why? Jon Favreau already knows how to do the Iron Man shit because he did it first. He knows how to work with child actors because he's done it. And he would get a good performance. He knows how to write a goddamn story because he's also done it. You take season 1 of The Mandalorian, and then it's just a girl in Iron Man suit. You could bring back Gwyneth Paltrow and have her trying to deal with her fucking daughter, trying to live up to her father's legacy, who was trying to live up to his father's legacy. The shit writes itself. And it ain't a comic book made for it, so ain't nobody got to be mad about a goddamn thing. Just shut up and watch the movie and tell me if you like it or not. Yeah, Nigel, exactly. Be like Seth Rogen with Invincible. Somebody who has love, has the clout in Hollywood to put that love and make it what the fuck he wants it to be. Bam! Do it. Because I don't, look, I worry about my boy Favreau. I really do. Because they gave him a fucking whole shit show over there at Star Wars. And I'm sure that has to break his spirit a bit. Fucked up his show, killed his character, double crossed him, stabbed him in the back. Like, man, and did everything, but what's the line from Clerks? Anally raped his mother while simultaneously pouring sugar in his gas tank? Fuck them people over there at Star Wars. You want to make that shit right? Make Jon Favreau the head of the MCU. Kick out Feige and let Favreau do it. Because at least you'll know he knows how to direct a goddamn movie and write a screenplay. And quite possibly know how to integrate male and female characters without the male characters looking like absolute assholes or weak ass, crying ass dudes. What up, Lewis? Y'all, look, Blood Boiling and Ghostman Kang. Read a comic book. Ironheart was in the comics. Morgan wasn't. Ironheart is an established character in MCU comics, in the Marvel comics, while the MCU got going. Morgan Stark wasn't. Okay? So, no, she shouldn't have been no fucking Ironheart. I don't actually have a problem with Riri. I just think the name is stupid, but that's Brian Michael Bendis. Okay? He trying to introduce some shit. The Ironheart character can exist just like the Rebel character exists, just like fucking, excuse me, War Machine exists. There can be another character wearing an Iron Man suit that's not Tony Stark. You know that shit, right? There's a bunch of them. My only problem with Riri was her fucking name, number one. And the second thing, that she just made her suit off of Tony Stark's suit with less stuff. Like, bullshit. Bullshit. That's some Mary Sue shit. Fuck that. Because I got both of them fucking chicks at the same time. Her and Moon Girl. Same time. Like, oh my God. But that is Marvel trying to fix its problem that it has, which it has no mantle system. It doesn't. DC does. Marvel does not. Marvel is character over powers. DC is powers over character. What up, Chubby Kush? That's a fat joint right there, Chubby Kush. And that's the problem, Ghost Man. The fact that they often deviate from the comics is a problem because when they deviate, if they did their deviations good, it wouldn't be an issue for me. The fact is, they deviate and introduce shit that makes no sense for the fucking character. That's somebody else wanting to put their own shit in there. That's them putting themselves into the fucking character. And that don't work. That's not the character. It'd be no different if you watching a stage play and the actor is supposed to be playing Hamlet or something like that, and all of a sudden, right in the middle of it, he switched to acting like the joke Joaquin Phoenix's fucking Joker. Like, nigga, that's not the same shit. That ain't the character. Look, we all read this. That's not it. The fuck are you doing? That's the problem with their deviations. Yes, Ilongo Savage. Yes, I did refer to Rebel from Heroes Reborn. I've read comics. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers. There's a whole lot of people other than Iron Man wearing iron suits in Marvel Comics. Just saying. So I see your question, blood boiling, but I don't see a donation on top of that. But since I love the character of Nova, I'm gonna answer that shit. Yes, yes, they should have. Only thing with Nova, he doesn't have a huge rogues gallery, and that's why his books usually end up getting killed. Nova's better on a team. He's better on a team just to flush him out more. In the MCU, they should have started with Richard Rider, and they should have started with Richard Rider coming back from space, having left Earth for a while and helping Xandarians and stuff like that out. He should have been coming back to Earth and realizing all these heroes are there. That would have been a better jump off point for him, to me. Um, because they didn't do Nova, they did Captain Marvel first. A lot of the scenes that you see with Captain Marvel, especially in Endgame, that's Nova shit that she's doing. Bursting through the ship and all the rest of that stuff. That shit Nova would do. Because Nova is the human rocket. That's what he does. I like Captain Marvel in the comics. Didn't like her on screen. Just didn't. So yeah, she should have been Nova. It should have been Nova. But even now, if they wanted to do it, if they were actually fucking smart, since they still got Ironheart kicking around that they're trying to build a whole show around, don't do a show around Ironheart. Do a show on the champions. You got Kamala Khan, you got Ironheart. What was I just gonna say? God damn it! If you want to introduce a Nova, introduce Sam Guthrie. Artie Edmore would be happy about that. So would I. And then you can build the champions around that. And if you wanted to, you could throw that young Cyclops on that team too. I'd watch a champion show. That would be your Teen Titans, Young Justice type of team, or your Teen Titans because you're gonna have the Young Avengers. Ghostman Kang, no. Yeah, you had him mentioning the Xandarians because James Gunn introduced Xandar. He kind of did it fucked up because he just got them flying in ships and shit. Budgets, right? But if you know Xandar in the comics, Xandar has been destroyed a couple times. That's why you have a Richard Rider Nova Prime. Wow, thanks, Charles. That's why you have it. Xandar's always been destroyed. But that don't mean every Xandarian is dead as fuck. They're not. Two of them rock with Galactus as his heralds. Fire Lord and Airwalker. Look them up. Those are Xandarians after Xandar was destroyed. And since you're going to get Galactus sooner or later, you can get more than one herald because he has more than one herald. Those can be your two Xandarians right there. So it ain't killed no hope of a Nova. And Sam Guthrie's, not Sam Guthrie, but Sam Alexander's story as his Nova plays a little bit better. You can work that into the MCU pretty easily because he's a younger hero. Two movie, four series. a year, two TV series, build up to the movie, then repeat. Do you think that formula could work? No. Charles Smith, no. No. I don't want to see 4 Marvel series a year. I don't. I think that's too many. I really do. Because you have a note. Here's the thing. This is why they want to slow down. The problem with shotgun and all this shit down your throat so fast, it doesn't have a chance to develop a following. Even though stuff moves a little fast nowadays, in the internet era and the microwave attention span with people, it has no time to really build up a following. Doesn't have a chance to stick with you. I've seen 4 movies in the last 2 weeks. If I didn't have the type of brain that I have, it would be really hard to keep track of what I was seeing and what I wasn't, and what was happening in one thing and what was happening in another thing. Because it's not even going into your long-term memory at that point. It's getting overridden by the new information right off the bat. So it never passed your short-term memory to get into your long-term memory storage. It's happening too fast. And because it's happening so fast, you don't even fucking remember it. If I asked a motherfucker what happened in episode 5 of Loki season 2, it couldn't fucking tell you. The show just ended like a month ago. They don't know because they're already on to the next thing. Can't even think of it. So by having all these shows back to back like that, you don't get a chance to sit with a show. You don't get a chance to sit with it, think about it, watch it a couple of times, and say, you know what, that was a damn good show. That was a damn good show. I'm gonna watch it again. Hey, y'all want to come over and watch this show? You need to see this, man. Come on, we gonna sit up and binge this show this week. Bring some pizza, bring some beer. We just fucking with this show tonight. You don't get the chance to have that. And being how most of these shows work, it takes you 3 seasons to get your feet under you, to really get that fan base involved. Yeah, Malika, information overload. You got the shit coming out of your ears and your nose, and still don't know what the hell it is you watched. 2 to 3. I can deal with 3 movies a year and 2 series a year. And this is why. Your series is gonna run you eight to 12 episodes. It's 8 to 12 episodes. It's seeming like in streaming, 8 episodes is a sweet spot. Okay? It's seeming like 8 episodes is a sweet spot. If you do it right, movie wise, you get 1 movie around February, you get 1 movie for the summer shit, and then you get 1 movie for the fall. That's your 3 movies. Done. Don't have to worry about Christmas. You knock that fall movie out like October, November, you sweet. You get a month or 2 before the next movie comes out in like February, March. When you get down to June, July, that's your summer blockbuster. You do it like a comic book. That's your crossover, motherfucker. That's where you drop a Kang Dynasty, Secret War, some shit like that. That's when you drop that. In between there, between March and that summer movie, that's when you have your series drop. 8 weeks, 2 months. Then you into the next movie. The next series after that summer movie, another 8 weeks, and then you ride that to the next movie. Done. You go on your break, you come back, new movie, new series, next season. Done. 3 and 2. But 4 series, fuck you. I got a lot of stuff to watch. No. Shout out to Charles Smith for the donation. Appreciate that. And shout out to Charles for doubling up. Appreciate that as well. Example, The Punisher. The Punisher TV show should come out in the fall. Plain and simple. 8 episodes in and out. Every fall. Every fall towards Halloween or some shit, you should get a Punisher show. 8 episodes, done. Why? Because it's gritty. I don't need the Punisher in the summer. I need the Punisher in the cold days. Sit in the house and soak that shit up. We have too many options in media today. We do have a lot of options, Malika, and that's why they keep trying to shotgun all the shit out there. But they have to understand they got to find their sweet spot with that shit. Like, The Boys comes out when? Once a year, right? Invincible comes out, what? Once a year, right? Amazon drops 2 shows that geeks are looking for in a year. And you wait. As soon as you know it's coming back, what do? You start binging the last season so you can watch the new season in preparation for the next season. That anticipation builds over time, right? But if you had a Boys, a Gen V, and something else, Super Crooks, whatever the fuck it is, all lined up together in the same year, you'd be tired of seeing that universe, which is what happened with Marvel. If they want to believe that superhero fatigue, it's not superhero fatigue, it's bad writing fatigue. Eating shit fatigue. That's what it is. And yeah, Nigel, better distance between each series too. Because as soon as that series ends, now I can marinate it on a little bit. Even if I didn't watch the summer movie, I would have a good, 3 months, 3 to 4 months to just marinate on what I just watched for 8 weeks. And then pick up the next series and see what's going on there. It's fine. Perfect example. Who gonna watch House of the Dragon season 2 when it come out? Who waiting for that shit? Are they taking their time with it? Or are they just trying to rush that shit out so you get 2 parts of it every year? No. Wait. Be patient. Grow up. Everything don't have to be immediate. And having more options, just to Malika's point, having more options means that the rest of the streaming services need to understand that. I know they're competitive against each other, but this is not network television. It's not network television. It's like saying, what's the better system between a fucking PlayStation and excuse me. Not a, why am I forgetting the damn name? An Xbox, right? What's the better system between the two? Well, to gamers, it don't fucking matter. A gamer will probably have both. They ain't picking one or the other. They doing both. Well, take that mentality to streaming. Anybody who's really into streaming and watching content, they watching content on every platform. It don't fucking matter. How many platforms am I streaming movies on right now? Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Apple TV, Disney Plus, fucking Tubi. When I get a chance to look at it, Amazon Prime. Look, I'm watching a lot of shit when I have time to watch it. So don't think you fighting for my eyeball. You not. The only thing you fighting for is my attention span if your show any fucking good. So if you take that into consideration and just know that you need to put out a good show this year, then you're not worried about, well, I got to go up against such and such. Look, The audience is gonna watch both of them bitches anyway. Just make your show good. And Ghostman Kang, I hope you black. Because if you black, you should be watching Bass Reeves on Paramount Plus. There you go. You're welcome. Because I damn sure wasn't watching Paramount Plus either. But you know what? I watched that one movie, I can't even remember what the fuck it was, and got that trial and saw Bass Reeves on there. I paid for that shit for a month so I can watch Bass Reeves. The origin of the Lone Ranger myth. All on that shit. What up, Joe Hurd? Appreciate you. He said they could also have movie that match a holiday or season if done right. Perhaps horror like Midnight Suns movie in October. Exactly, Herb. See, now you thinking. You thinking like a comic book reader. One of my favorite things to see of the X-Men was around wintertime. What would you have in the wintertime? You have stories in X-Men where it's snowing and shit like that, right? They're doing some Christmas shit. If it was summertime, you get the little X-Men swimsuit issues or whatever the fuck, right? Where they doing some shit. It actually is thinking about when this thing is going to happen. It's just a little harder with television shows and movies because they may not make that date. They may not make it. It may be set to come out this time of year, but I don't know. A pandemic happened and they got to shift the whole slate up. So now your movie that had all this fun Christmas stuff happening ain't dropping until fucking the fall or something. You know, screws you completely up. Oh, it's dropping in the summer. But we got a Christmas theme in this shit. Oh well. You know, gets a little tough. Comic books, though, you know, they write that shit in advance. Script it out early and start writing and start drawing and get that shit done. Book has to be in by this day. Appreciate you for supporting the stream, Herb. Yeah, Aquatech and Christmas in July. Like, in July, they having a Christmas episode? The fuck is this? Yeah, exactly. Like, y'all supposed to be on the 4th of July episode. Like, that would be, they have to be getting things done on time to actually have it dropping at that point. Like, perfect example. What up, Corey? Perfect example. Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. When did they film that shit? I think they filmed it in the summer. I think James Gunn filmed it in the summertime. But they had a definite date on when they're dropping this shit. So it came out around Christmas time. But if they would have had a delay, oh, he'd have been fucked. It'll look goofy as hell. I might watch that shit again this year because it was actually good. Appreciate you, Corey. Yeah, I got off work. I'm just chilling down here by the marina talking some shit about trying to save Marvel. Why? Because I want this shit to be good. I'm a comic book fan. Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, Valiant, Malibu. It don't fucking matter. I like comics. I like comics. I love comics. I love these characters. I love geekdom. I don't want to see this shit be all fucked up. It does me, it fills me with no joy to listen to people giggling they fucking ass off that the Marvels failed so bad. That don't do shit for me. That don't do shit for my love for these characters. It don't do shit for all the money I pumped into Marvel. It don't do shit for none of that. It don't make me feel good in no kind of way. None. It's depressing. It is as depressing as having to tell somebody what it felt like to close the comic shop. It was like killing a piece of myself, a huge piece. Geekdom is my shit. It's grown up with me as I have grown up with it. I don't like seeing it in this state. I do not. It does not make me feel good. It is not making me any money to have it this way. Like I've told you, I'm not dancing around the pirate. I'm not. In this Lord of the Flies scenario, I'm Ralph looking like these motherfuckers done lost their goddamn minds. I need to get off this island. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm not cheering for this shit. I'm not. It needs to get fixed. And at my core, I am somebody who solves problems, not laugh that you're having them. I want to see this shit good. Damn how bad it was and getting your 50 fucking chuckles off of that. How can we fix this shit? How can I help you fix it? Because this needs to be good. My granddaughter just turned 5. I want to take her to see a geek movie and have it be good. Have a chick in it she can actually relate to. I do. But I ain't taking her to see none of this dumb shit. No. Why would I? It's bad enough I gotta watch this shit. Oh, hell no. I can't endorse this to nobody else. So it needs to get fixed. Yeah, Aquatech, only thing worse than disdain and apathy. No shit. No shit. Yeah, Ray, you're right about that. If they slow the fuck down, I can catch up on some of this shit. You're right. My backlog of stuff to watch will go down because I'll have time to watch it. Because just say right now, when I finish with you guys, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go in this house. I'm gonna record my review for Blue Eye Samurai episode 2, and then I'm gonna fire up episode 3 and try to get through that. But just doing that one episode, I don't have necessarily time to go back and look for Invincible or some other shit to watch. That means I gotta plot this shit out every fucking day. Every day I have to be watching something else. That's a lot of time that a motherfucker like me don't have. Because I'm not complaining, but YouTube ain't my full-time gig. It might be nice if it was, but it ain't right now. So I got other shit I need to do. And somewhere in between doing the other shit, I might want to get boffed off one time. So slowing some of this shit down would actually be a help and not a hindrance. Shout out to Rainfire. Appreciate you, Rainfire. So support. He said they can sprinkle in some well done animated series or movies in between to fill it out. Exactly. MCU got What If coming. What If season 2 coming? Cool. I'll watch that because it's like an appetizer. And if it's good, I'll look for it coming around next year around the same time. It take you a year to do it. Well, hopefully you're already in the studio working on it right now. So I can catch season 3 this time next year. I can put it on my calendar and look forward to it. But if you just gonna hang it out there, throw some shit out there to go, oh, maybe we'll get back to it, maybe we won't. Well, fuck you. I don't need to watch that shit anytime soon. So them spacing it out like next year, what is it? We got one movie coming out for the MCU. That's too little. That is actually too little. But we got some shows supposedly coming out. Anybody looking forward to seeing them shows? No. More damage to the brand. Get off of this bullshit about, oh, we just want to have to put these characters out there. No, the fuck you don't. If these characters were worth putting out there, their books will be blowing up and selling off the rack, and they're not. So why are you pushing these characters so goddamn hard? trying to make under 50% of your fan base to 100%. It's not happening because that less than 50%, only 10% of them give a fuck. The rest of them don't. There's women in and out of comic book stores all the time, and more often than not, they not buying shit. But 10% of them are actually comic book readers that do buy stuff because comics just ain't they fucking thing for most of them. So I don't know why you trying to pivot this whole franchise onto an audience that ain't really interested in that shit that hard anyway. The damn sure ain't gonna support it. If they were, you'd be getting Barbie numbers out of your show. So beef and brock. My thoughts on Fallout series coming to Amazon. Watch my stream from yesterday, Shop Talk 5.28. I talked about that yesterday. Today, though, if you paid attention to what the title was, I'm talking about how to say the MCU. Superman should get his ass whooped by Godzilla. Just saying. That'd make Superman more interesting if he got his ass whooped a lot more. Just saying. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for everybody who supported the stream. I do appreciate it. But these are just my ideas, just spitballing while I was coming from work and what I was thinking would say the MCU. Next time it will be Star Wars, but Star Wars one should be pretty brief. First thing you need to do to save Star Wars, fire Kathleen Kennedy, post haste. Second thing you need to do, fire fucking Dave Filoni if his ass wasn't stuck to her vagina. Him too. Both need to go. Post haste. ASAP Rocky. Get the fuck on. And let her go start her own studio somewhere with them motherfuckers. Since they just like destroying shit. Let them go build some sandcastles. But that's for another time. Thank you guys for showing up. I've been Artisan MC, and you have just heard a geek speak. Peace.